One glass in, you're already on my mind. When it gets late, I always realize that I need you. Are you thinking about me tonight? It's no secret, all my friends already know. There's no reason to hold it back, I let it show. All my feelings, are you thinking about me tonight? Your hands around my waist, just let the music play. Like a drug, I am hooked on you. Sweeter than summer wine, baby, just hold me tight. Like a drug, I am hooked on you. And that makes me say, oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Goddamn, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Paradise. I'm taking a mental picture in my mind just to keep this moment till the end of time. 'Cause I know that it might be over after tonight. So before I change my mind, your hands around my waist, just let the music play. Like a drug, I am hooked on you. Sweeter than summer wine, baby, just hold me tight. Like a drug, I am hooked on you. And that makes me say, oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Goddamn, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Paradise. Say the sweet, give it to me.
Hello, hello.
Hey there.
How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
Good. Welcome, everyone, to Thursday. Get your mind right with me, Coach K, and
Me, Big Al.
I think today let's start out talking about Thanksgiving, and because I know you cooked, so tell us all the things.
Yeah. I think I cooked for like this was the most I ever cooked any Thanksgiving. I think I was literally up for like 36 hours, like straight.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I made turkey wings, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, collard greens with smoked turkey, green beans with smoked turkey, sweet potato cornbread, honey cornbread dressing. I
Ooh,
made
that
peach
sounds
cobbler
good.
pudding, banana pudding, peach cobbler, and sweet potato cheesecake mini.
I'm gonna need some of those recipes.
Yeah, I
My
made a
God, I
lot
love
of
sweet
food.
potatoes. Oh my gosh, how do you plan all of that?
Far in advance. And like I said, it's only so much you can do in advance to have fresh food on Thanksgiving Day. So I end
Oh
up pulling all-nighters, but I end up sleeping really well afterwards. So it's cool.
And so, for how many people did you cook for?
I did 2 catering orders that were for about 10 people each, that
What?
were actual meals. And then I had some people that just ordered desserts, and then I cooked for my family, of course, and I had a few individual dinners. So it really wasn't that large people like individually, but they were
Mm-hmm.
like back-to-back catering orders. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I was gonna say, of course you cooked. Like, if there's a cook in my family, like, yeah, you're doing it, of course. Does that ever get like,
Yeah.
do you ever feel like that pressure, like, oh, you're definitely gonna have to cook.
Oh yeah, like I'm not cooking for my family for Christmas, and my mom really had to talk me into cooking for Thanksgiving because
Really?
I'm like, I don't understand why we can't do it old school and you make a dish, I make a dish, and
Right, right.
I'm like, why do I have to make the whole dinner? And she was so adamant. She was like, no, I want you to cook, and I'm like, okay, so,
You're
but I'm
young
not
too, so
cooking for
it's
Christmas.
like,
Yeah, but I overwork myself just like the next millennial does. I was so tired. Like it was so funny. I'm like falling asleep, like sitting at the chair, people trying to talk. I'm like, I gotta go home. This is this is
like,
it. I was
hey,
tired. I was
Link.
so tired.
Hey, everyone in the chat. Hey, Scam
Hey
and
guys.
Jenny, beautifully animated. Dusto, so crazy. So what do you do while you're cooking? Like, do you have to follow recipes like the to a T, or do you know a lot of it, by heart?
uh Yeah, for the most part, and that's why a lot of people, that's what I'm working on a e-recipe book now because a lot of people they're like, we need recipes when I honestly don't use recipes. Like if I'm not freestyling,
Oh.
I'm just listening to the ancestors telling me when to stop. The only thing that I don't kind of freestyle on is when it comes
Mhm.
to baking,
Oh yeah.
because you can't play around. But I also
Yeah.
don't do a lot of baking, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like rules. So
Yeah. So the baking's not for you, right?
yeah, no, like I can do like honestly 7 Up pound cake. That's where I kind of like start and stop. Like I can do the cobblers and like cheesecakes, but when it comes to like certain pastries, like whatever is elevated outside of that, like I'm not making like puff pastry from scratch. I'm not doing that. But I did on Black Friday. I finally got a KitchenAid stand mixer. They were like
Oh,
$200 off.
that
And
is solid. What color did you get?
black. I'm getting ready to move next month, and I want my kitchen to be all black. So I'm getting black everything,
Oh, that is so
and yeah, I'm really excited. I'm like I can make pasta. If I can get a pasta attachment,
yeah.
so
Oh my gosh,
So
that's
I might be
so
making
cool.
more pastries in the future just so I can play around with my KitchenAid mixer.
Yeah, everyone, like we all need to get together and have like a potluck, like Hink said, because
Yes.
I mean, I'm not good at anything, but I'll try. But beautifully animated, so she does cookies and cheesecakes. I love sweets.
You can do the
Let's
charcuterie board. All you have to do is put meats and cheeses together.
That's
You don't have to
true.
cook
That's true.
anything.
That's true. I'll have to like I'm working on it. I think Christmas this year I'm gonna be getting a bunch of kitchen stuff because that's like what it is. I'm adulting at this point, but and I gotta take care of my man. But like, yeah, I'll have to get on Pinterest and be like, what do I do? What's the rules to this? Because I know there's like even I don't know how to do any of this. There's always like a decorum or something. Like I'm not like that. Or
Well,
you know.
a lot of people get intimidated with cooking, but one thing
I
that I
do.
really like about it is, you can make it your own. And you'll have like just like you have the fashion police telling you, you can't dress like that.
That's a
You'll
good
have
point.
the voluntary chef police like that's not how you do that and this is da 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 da.
Yeah,
But
that's old
it's
people.
my
Sorry.
yeah, they are, oh my gosh. When you get away from tradition, people are like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing? This is wrong. What is this?" But like
Yes.
literally, you can have your recipe and I can have mine, and you don't have to eat anything that I make
Right.
ever. It's still gonna be
Right.
my recipe. And that's why I try to tell people, like, make it your own. Like, people get mad sometimes because I gave out a recipe for like a seafood butter sauce, but it was one, a free recipe, and two,
Right.
disclaimer, I don't take measurements. So I just listed, all of the ingredients that I use. And people
Yeah.
are like, what were the amount? What was the amount of seasoning? What was the exact?
Oh,
And they were so
yeah.
frustrated. And I'm like, did you see the recipe I posted above? They were like, you didn't post the recipe, you listed ingredients. I'm like, okay.
Well, then couldn't you just
So
like look it up and then like figure it out somehow, or like I mean, I don't
you
know.
could, but I guess where some people are really like that intimidated and they just want, you have people that just want to follow,
That's me. Like give me the
yeah,
rules. I like to
step
follow
by
rules.
step. I don't want to freestyle. And I get it, but that takes the fun out of cooking to me.
I know. But then
Because
you
then
have,
you're so worried about
but
doing
I don't know
everything right.
anything, you know? So it's like, I
That's
don't
not
even know
true.
how
I
to,
don't believe that. Like, you can boil some water.
oh yeah. But like,
That's step one.
I, I overthink stuff like that. Like, trust me, I'm aware of it. I'm a coach. I know what I'm doing, but I just get really like anxious about things that like I don't feel comfortable in, and then I make it worse for myself, you know? And
Yeah.
then I tell people that I don't really know. I told my guy I'll have to start learning or taking classes or something or learning on YouTube. And people are like, just start doing it. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to waste stuff. Like, I don't want to, I don't know. And I eat clean for the most part. So I don't want to like, I mean, what you can do stuff, but like, how much can you really do? I don't know.
I mean, just take it meal by meal. You
Yeah.
can't, it's hard to mess stuff up, like, and especially if you just take ingredients that you like and kind of transform them into something else, or
Mm-hmm.
I can make a pasta with this, or maybe I can make a flatbread with this, or maybe I could turn this into a pizza. Just stuff like
True.
that. Nobody is saying, like, go and try to make a prime rib. Um
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I'm not eating that anyway. Like that's no, I'm good on that.
Yeah, that's, you don't have to take it there.
Mm-hmm.
Just do what's comfortable, and then over time once you start getting comfortable, you'll start experimenting more, things will start making sense, flavor combinations
Mm-hmm.
will start going together, and you'll be able to look at a recipe or watch a video of somebody making something
Mm-hmm.
and be able to replicate that in your own way. Eventually, that's
Yeah.
what it'll turn into.
That's a good point. I know. Like my
But
stepmom.
you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere.
Oh, I know I do.
Because it's no food better than the food that can potentially, I'm gonna say potentially, come out of your kitchen.
I know, and that's what I want. Like I want that's something like when I think of the future, of course I want like, certain things, house, car, whatever, but I really just want like that's something I aspire to be is like a really good cook. Like people know me for being good at like a few dishes. It doesn't have to be like good cook and like general, but like, a few things like you got to have it, that type of thing. So, I don't know.
But be careful what you ask for.
Uh-oh, like
Be careful what you ask for, because you gonna be tired and
oh
people are not
yeah.
gonna take no for an answer. I had
You-
somebody call me out my name before because I wasn't available for a catering order, and I was like,
This is a great segue. So tell me what happened. Like what occurred?
so I kind of came up with a policy because it wasn't that deep. It just wasn't that deep. But I
Is
kind
it
of,
ever like gosh. But anyway, go on.
it's food. I think about Ruben Sutter fighting his brother over a sandwich. Like, it's just not that deep. But,
Oh my gosh.
right. But so I came up, this was like my first year of business. And initially, I really didn't have any rules or stipulations. It was kind of just first come, first serve, hit me up,
Hmm.
how you hit me up, and whatever.
Yeah, you're trying to get off the
Um,
ground, right?
yeah, but eventually what worked best for me was text or email to
Mm,
place your order, because 9 times out of 10, if I'm working, and at this time I was cooking every day doing daily specials, if I'm cooking, I can't be on my phone.
right.
Besides the fact that that's unsanitary, I can't focus.
Mm, right.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
you people calling me and I'm not answering the phone, and they're thinking I'm ignoring them, which to an extent I am, but also if you would just text me, and that's the thing with the catering too, and cooking, 9 times out of 10, you call me, I can't answer your question right away anyway. I need to take time to go look up the answer and get back to you.
Yeah.
So I just had a
Yeah.
policy. I reiterated it time and time again for this particular person. You got to text me. Just shoot me a text. You don't have to email me. Just shoot me a text.
Right.
He refused to follow the rules, and he called me. And I think this particular weekend, I was actually out of town. Yes, I had got my first catering event out of town, and I was actually in Atlanta.
Oh my gosh.
And he was calling my phone. He called my phone like back to back, like 3 times. And I didn't answer because I was literally like working an order, like a huge
Right.
order.
Right, right.
And I ended up texting him back like once I could, and I'm like, hey, I'm working, but shoot me a text, let me know what you need.
Mhm.
And he wrote me back like, fuck you, bitch. And I was like, what? And he was like, I was trying to get you for a catering order for like his sister's birthday or something. And I'm like, I don't even think I responded to him. I blocked him and that was it. But
you can't do that. Like, you can't, and that's something with like entrepreneurs, like in general, like they want to
yeah.
support like people, but at the same time, like, would you do that for another place? Like, if this is their policy, if this is what they do, like,
Hmm.
then then that's just what it is. Like, you have to follow it.
Yeah. And for this person in particular, he was a very he was he was a very loyal client, but he was also a very kind of unreasonable client, and he felt like
Mm.
because he was spending his dollars that he was entitled to receive, you know, what he wanted when he wanted. He even called me at like after midnight one time, like, I got $100 for you if you can make this right now and pull up on me. And I'm like, first of all,
Oh,
$100 is not enough money for me to get up out of my sleep and
right,
cook. Like, what is wrong
right,
with you? Like, and
right.
furthermore, like, I had already ignored his phone call and he was texting me like, pick up the phone. So I'm like, like what? Like, what do you want? So he was off. He was off. He had a couple screws loose, I'm gonna just say. But them type of customers, like, I've literally only had one customer like that. And I feel like my price point keeps a lot of customers, confrontational customers, away from my
That's
business.
that's
And I'm
interesting. Yeah.
appreciative of that. You know, sometimes some of them slip through the cracks, but
Mm-hmm.
eventually they work themselves out,
That's a
literally, like
great
out the door.
point.
Because I'm not arguing with anybody, and I understand that all money is not good money. I will quickly refund somebody who has the game confused, because, you know, some people think they book you for a catering service and you're supposed to be at their foot, hand, and call 24/7. No, no, no. You booked me to cook and provide and serve food. That's it.
Right,
That's it.
right.
And I had to realize, in order to protect my peace and not burn myself out and lose my passion for something that I love, I had
Yeah.
to, you know, put my foot down. And I don't like to do
And
that because
yeah.
I really am a people pleaser. That's part of the reason why I cook. I love to see people's reactions and expressions and just
Yeah.
make people happy with food, but not at the expense of my happiness and my peace and my sanity.
Yeah. And your other clients too. Shout out to Beautifully Animated. She says to you for sure, you want to call me out. My name is so on my food. Okay. That is right. Like when I was a server, I was like, which never ever, and I've never seen anyone like tamper with food, but it's like you were being rude. Like, why? You're not making me want to like get to you any faster. I mean, I will because it's just like morally, I follow rules, right? But it's like I don't know why. Because if you talk like that to someone else, they might F with your food, which I would
Yeah.
never condone. But it's
See,
like, what the heck?
back in my serving days, I get one of them tables, I go straight to the kitchen like, who want a table? Because again,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
money is not good money. I don't care how broke I am or how pressed I was, like,
That's
it's
so
not worth
true.
you talking to me crazy. And
That's so
just
true.
to give a little background, to get an idea of the type of customers I had no problem turning down. I was working at Cracker Barrel in Frankfort, Kentucky while I was in college. That was my serving job. So
Oh, that's not.
you
Oh, That's not far from me. Wait,
Frank
where were
oh
you?
yeah, no, it's not. At K
Where?
State, Kentucky State.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, that's not far
Yeah.
from me at all. Okay,
So,
yeah, I
but
can
you
I
can
can
imagine the
already
type of
imagine.
people. I'd be like, okay, one second, don't even worry about it.
Right.
Don't even worry about it.
And you know the people that always like wanted like money and stuff, or like were like, balling out. It's like, and they'll take it. It's like, yeah, take them because I'm not dealing with them. They were inappropriate one time, and after that, nope, never
Yeah.
again.
And
Or
that's the
something
thing.
else. Yeah.
I don't mind a customer that doesn't know what they want. I don't mind a
Yeah,
customer
yeah.
that's indecisive, that has 81 questions. I don't mind the challenge,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not gonna disrespect me.
That's where I draw the line. And
You're not gonna disrespect me.
yeah, well, and that's
Pick
that's what's
somebody else.
amazing about your business too, and like especially, and like shout out to you, definitely like inspired by you too, because like you Beautifully Animated says, I would never mess with food either, but I won't deal with either. I may eat your food and right. That's so true. But getting to the point in your business where you get to kind of pick your customers now, which is like amazing, because that's definitely a state, like you're beyond like starting out now. That's a kudos to you. That's awesome. But yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
like I'm not working with you. It's just not worth it. But so today we're going to talk about boundaries again. And I thought it was interesting that you said that you're a people pleaser, because there's a part of boundaries. And again, we'll get into like stories and situations. And tell me whatever you think, Big Al. We're just gonna converse about this. No, like real, whatever. But so boundaries. Sometimes we don't set boundaries for ourselves, in the sense that, hey, Andre, we don't set boundaries for ourselves in the sense that we don't say no to people. We don't stick up for ourselves and what we're not willing to do. So we'll do it and we'll be pissed about it, or we'll do it and be uncomfortable about it just because we don't want to say no. And we think that something's going to happen. Like this person is going to like go on a rampage, or like we're going to look bad, or whatever it is. And then we let people walk all over us. Right. But actually, you let others walk all over you. Right. Totally been there. Still do it. But yeah, what do you think about that?
I think that you are 100% responsible for your environment and 0% responsible for other people. Meaning, no matter what you do, you need to understand that you don't have the ability to change somebody. So you being a good person to somebody, you doing something that you don't want to do for somebody, it's not going to be received as appreciative or you going out of your way. You're simply doing something that they asked you to do. It literally is nothing more, nothing less, usually, to the other person. So if you do these things expecting a result other than what is black and white, that is 100% your fault. So
100%.
I think that, because I am a people pleaser, I have to be around people that appreciate that and respect that. If I want to be a people pleaser and allow people to take advantage of me, that's my fault, because it only takes one time for somebody to show their ass, in all honesty. If you want to keep giving people multiple chances, and people can change, that's on you. But I didn't plant you. I'm not about to water you. I got other things to do.
That is so good. That is so good, because you can't. It's like, let's be honest. If you're setting boundaries, hoping that they'll change, or, asking someone to do something, but you're not being like direct with it. But it's like, or if you're doing something just so that they will do whatever. I mean, it's like X plus Y equals, hey, Tisha. It's like you're being manipulative, and you're not going to be happy, and you're not going to feel authentic either. Not being honest with what it is that's bothering you, or what it is that you want. And I know I talked about this last time, but if there's something that this person's doing that you don't like, just be honest about it. Just be clear. That's something I will never understand, is why people will like be so like confused about something, or won't just ask the question. And it's like, just ask them. If you don't know, just ask, or just tell them. And then it's in their court.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times people are just I feel like subconsciously people know the answer to a lot of the questions that they ask. They just don't want to face that truth, because that truth would require them to make changes that they probably don't want to make. And my thing with that is, if you want to be with this person, and this person has this habit that they refuse to break, you've expressed to them how you feel, they continue to do it over and over again, you know, at this point, you know, there has to come a point where you're like, okay, I have to accept this person and this trait, this habit as a part of them. Am
Right.
I okay with that? Yes or no? And at that
Yep.
point, you know, you either choose to move forward and don't complain about that anymore, or you try to find a compromise somewhere. And once you reach that compromise, don't complain about it anymore. Or you say, I
Right.
can't do this. I can't do this. This is a deal breaker for me. And you have to leave. You have to exit that situation.
And you can do that
But
with love, by the way, too,
yeah,
people. Like, you can do it with love.
it can all be done very gracefully, but acknowledgement is at the root of all of that. And that's the step that I feel like a lot of people tend to miss.
Well, for sure. Like, what you're saying is so key. And it's like when we say something that bothers us, again, we're all adults here. If and you're in a relationship with adult, they get to behave however they want to. And if they do something, let's say it violates, so a boundary is something that violates, it's something you will do if someone violates your emotional, personal, or physical space. So if they do this, then you will do this. Like, so you're not expecting them to change or anything. Now you want to make it clear so that they know. But if they still decide to do it, then you follow through on what you said you will do if they do it. It has nothing to do with them at the end of the day because they decided to take that action to,
Mm-hmm.
get in your
Right.
space, whatever it is. But then it's on you, and you get to know you're honoring yourself and not trying to control other people. But then if we set a boundary and we don't follow through on it, then our word is like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then how can anyone take us seriously,
And not only that, but the whole dynamic of the relationship now changes because you did not hold me accountable for your requirements. So now I know that your requirements are not truly requirements, they're negotiable. And we
Right.
don't even have to talk about it because you're going to go with the flow. So I think that it just sets the foundation for a very toxic relationship. But it seems that in so many relationships, whether it be with people amongst myself or even myself, sometimes I have to find
Mm-hmm.
myself like stopping and taking a deep breath and like, nope, you got to see it through. You got to do this
Mm-hmm.
because if I don't, why am I here? The relationships, people think that relationships are supposed to be easy for some reason,
Right.
which,
Right.
9 times out of 10, the relationship that you have with the person that gave life to you isn't easy. So why do you think
Right.
if that relationship can't be easy, why do you think anything after that,
Right.
would be easy?
Right.
And I
That's
think
so true.
that, yeah, people don't want to, people think that when they have to fight for something, when something isn't just handed to them in a relationship or it's not just a given, it means that you don't want to give it to them or you don't really love them or you don't really care about them.
Right.
It's like, no, I don't know you. And instead of building trust, you trying to badger me about some shit that I'm not ready for.
Yeah.
Like, and you looking at me crazy, but I think that you got issues.
Right.
So,
Why would you want to be with someone who doesn't want, like, let's say there's something that's important to you that you really want in someone else, and they don't do it, on their own, or that they even want to do it, then why would you want why would you want them to change? Because then you're
yeah.
with someone that's doing stuff that they don't even want to do.
Yeah,
And
and eventually that's gonna hit the fan.
on the other hand, sometimes, okay, there's two things that this just like bugs me. But I used to do this too, and I still probably do it. It's like where we think someone should know something. Like they should know this. I shouldn't have to tell them this. It's like BS. Stop. You're making yourself miserable. You're only setting up walls in your relationship. Just ask for what you want. And plus, we like to assume a lot of times, and we don't know what's going
Mm-hmm.
on with that person too. Like, maybe they forgot, maybe there's stuff on their mind. Like, who knows? I mean, we all make mistakes, but like, expectations are not good. And it's best if you can kind of acknowledge or be aware of what your expectations are and what's a non-negotiable. What are your boundaries? Have you
Mm-hmm.
expressed these to this person, especially if you're like first dating or whatever, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's another thing where, what was the other thing? Saying that, like, you reminded me of when you said something about, like, we say we'll do it, but like we really don't want to do it. Also, like, let's all be honest with ourselves. We don't have to do anything. Truly, like, we don't have to. Anything. Like, even like it may feel like we have to, but we truly don't. Like, we could just lay there like a slug and just like chill. I mean, but we want to. Let's be honest. Like, I want to be here. I want to, I don't know. So we want to go to work because we want to make money. We want to pay our bills. So it's like we don't do ourselves any favors when we say that we have to do things, but we truly don't have to. We want to, especially with our significant other.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you noticed that with people, or even yourself, whatever?
I mean, I think that subconsciously people do that like all the time. Like even when you're on the phone with somebody and you're like, I'm gonna call you right back, instead of just saying, okay, well, it was good catching up. I'll talk to you, sometime soon. We'll talk soon.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna call me right back. You don't hear from that person for another week, month, whoever knows how long. But it's like a habit for sometimes people to just say, like, it feels wrong to say, okay, I'm getting off the phone, like, and I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Like, what?
I remember Quinta Brunson. She had this video before, like way before Abbott Elementary, but she was like going around the office and she was asking, or somebody was asking her, like, yeah, you going to the office party after work? And she's like, no. And they're like, oh, you got something planned? And she's like, no.
Right.
And then she's like, oh, you're not feeling well? No, I just don't want to go. Oh, why don't you want to go? I just don't want to.
Right.
Like, I feel like subconsciously we've become conditioned to believe that, we have to provide an explanation for everything, and us not wanting to do it is not enough. Or us not feeling like wanting to do it is not enough. My boyfriend asked me for something. I feel obligated to do this for him, even though I don't want to. That's not his fault. And then, if I choose to do it and now I'm
right.
Yeah. Like, I don't even want it no more. Like, what is all of that about? What is all of that for?
Yeah.
When my answer should have just been no, if that's how I felt.
Right.
But I don't know what it is. I feel like for me, partly, I remember growing up, it was, treat people the way that you want to be treated. And as an adult, I do not feel that way. I treat people the way that I feel like treating them, which, as long as you're not disrespectful to me, because even on a bad day, I don't project that on other people. I'm not that type of person. As long as you don't give me a reason to be rude to you, I'm not going to be rude to you. Even if it's a stranger, somebody I don't know, I literally can switch it up. Like, I'll literally be maybe crying or yelling and have an attitude with somebody, and then somebody comes up to me, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm not a projecting person. So Allison, playing Big Al.
Yeah.
She's good people. So if you get that version of me, then that's the version that you get. But me sitting up here being, plain old Big Al, loving, empathetic, sympathetic, people pleasing Big Al, and you're an asshole and you're yelling and you're being disrespectful, I'm not gonna match you, because that doesn't make me. That now I'm not me anymore. Now I'm somebody else. Now you just took me out my element. You just not gonna be around me. I'm gonna walk away. But pride, like what you're gonna do. Worried about what other people think. A lot of people don't have that ability to walk away, and that's how people get the.
And then they they place the blame on other people.
And
then giving that their power, and people do this a lot, not only with strangers but people that they don't like. They wrap their mood in this person or their, you know, whatever situation in this person. It's like, wow, you really don't like this person, but you're putting all your energy and your emotions in that person. Why would you give them that? Like, why would you do that? You know, you just gave it away and now you're at their, you know, expense, or well, your expense, but you're, you know, at their effect basically. And it's like, do you
Or
realize you're doing that?
at the very least, be honest with yourself and say, I am bothered by this. This hurt my feelings. Like,
For
I have a
sure.
problem. Because now I understand why you can't let it go. But you keep
For
saying,
sure.
I don't care. I don't care.
Right. Like,
but we still talking about
you
it.
don't, like, you don't care? You
So
sure?
which is it? Which is it?
That's a good point too, because my sister will be like, well, I think you need to coach yourself. I think you need to like manage your thoughts. I'm like, actually, I know what my thoughts are and I want to keep them, and I like them. I like what I'm thinking right now, because I don't like what you're doing, and I'm just gonna say it, but I own it. I own what I'm thinking and feeling. It's about you, but I know that I'm the one that's choosing it, and it's not her job to make it better or to. I mean, she can if she wants, but she can, you know, do whatever she wants to do. She's a grown ass adult, but you know, she can do whatever she wants. By the way, when do you want to drop the link? What are you thinking?
It's whenever you ready. I'm ready.
I mean, I'm ready if we want, but because I think we are both definitely aligned on this. So we'll go ahead and drop the link. Anyone in the chat wants to come up, if you're having, you know, tell us your thoughts. If you are having, you know, difficulties with setting boundaries, or I think we had someone in the chat last week or a couple weeks ago, if you remember that. And it's like, we think we're setting boundaries, but really we're trying to change someone. Let's be honest. So it's like, you know, come on up and we can help you with this. The link is in the chat now. Hey, CJ, by the way, and Mel, welcome. Everyone, be sure to like the video. Thanks for coming and spending Thursday night with me and Big Al. And we're talking about boundaries and how we don't set them right. We don't set them at all. Oh, beautifully animated girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey. How's it going?
First of all, girls.
Oh, shit. What you got?
Okay.
My Superman shirt.
Oh, that's good. I love that.
Because everybody around me wants me to be the hero until I turn up, and then it's like, get her, get her, get her.
She said no.
When they do it, it's the problem when I do it.
What happened? What are you talking about?
Like when shit pop off.
Oh, like on this platform?
No, like no.
Not this platform, but like
in general.
The YouTubes
in general, and like in life, like that's why I've had to set boundaries with my family and stuff like that, you know, because it's like
you know,
you see Black Man's comment.
Fools, man.
Wow, they coming for you.
I don't have a Wonder Woman shirt yet. Okay, leave me alone.
I know. I like Superman.
And Supergirl wears an S on her chest too. So
oh, true. There you go.
Alone.
Like what of it?
But yeah, like this is part of my journey of learning my boundaries and stuff like that. You know, I had a little cousin who got into a fight. I don't know if I said this before on this channel, but he was in a fight with his girlfriend. Like we had a party for him. It was a graduation / birthday party, and later on that night, Dre, leave me alone.
Hey, Quincy. Hey, Dre.
Hey, Dre.
Bounty hunter. Gosh. Oh my god. It's so crazy.
So, but no, later on that night, one of my cousins spots the car rocking. and thank you, Jenny. Spots the car rocking, and it only registered about the third time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they fighting in the back seat of the car, and so no one went over there to break it up. Where do we do this at? You know what I'm saying?
They were fighting, or they were like fighting like animals, like
fighting, like
okay.
swinging.
I'm thinking like in a car, like were you sure they were fighting?
Because I'm not gonna get into no verbal fight. Like have at it.
Right.
I'm like, are we sure they was fighting? They were
right.
No, they were fighting because they were moving. The cars rocking and stuff like that.
Oh
so
my God.
I run over there since no one else ran over there, and I break them up.
Oh Lord.
I'm looking at the auntie who's in the front seat the whole time. I'm like, this bitch here. Okay, but I just looked at her. I'm not paying her no mind because I'm trying to focus on the youngins and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, before I can even speak, girlfriend wants to run up on me to get to him. You might want to back up. Okay. So speaking to both of them, because just because he's my cousin, I'm not going to be biased. You know, I'm not in their relationship, and I'm with them 24/7 and stuff like that. I don't know.
Right.
You know, I don't know nothing. So, I'm talking to them about the fact that this ain't gonna work. Putting hands on people, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the only way you can
work it out,
get through conflict, then you don't need to be with one another, right? And if you find yourself in that situation in another relationship, you don't need to be in that relationship. So while I'm trying to school these youngins, auntie, my baby cousin's aunt, no relation to me, thank God. She up there keeps on interrupting me. It's like, he didn't hit her, not talking to you. And, you know, I go back to them. She interrupts again, not talking to you. By the third time, I was like, look. It's like this action that caught one of my cousin's attention. They were like, get her.
Right. Right.
At that moment, I was about to drag auntie from the front seat to the back seat. You know what I'm saying? Become a whole hypocrite. After I schooled these youngins.
That's good awareness for sure.
And so that's when I learned I cannot break up fights. Okay.
I mean,
I taught them, and I learned something about myself that I don't do it. I do not do it. I was even telling my brother about it. He was just like, you can't do that. I was like, I said I wasn't gonna do it.
Right. Hey, but
girl is on fire.
What?
There is some fire.
I cannot right now. That's good to know, though, and that's actually interesting that you say that. Like you notice in, hey, CJ, how's it going?
How y'all doing?
Hey.
Good. I was gonna say that's good that you notice that, like, while you're telling these two youngins, trying to stop them from fighting, that you were about to be a hypocrite if you didn't like set that boundary and like get away or whatever, walk away or whatever it was.
Yeah, and I'm not perfect, but I try my best to at least not become a hypocrite.
Right.
That's the worst thing ever.
It is. What do you think, CJ? I know you just got here. What do you think about boundaries? What you got on our discussion?
I kind of missed a good.
It's okay.
In relation to the title, or
Well,
in
so we're just,
general, I guess.
yeah, we're just talking
Yeah.
about boundaries in relationships, and basically how a lot of people, they use the word boundaries basically to control people. They'll say that they have boundaries, that if people violate them, then they're not going to be with this person. Yet these boundaries are like, if you don't text me or if you do like this behavior, but it's not really violating their emotional space necessarily, their personal space or their physical space.
Mhm.
That's really what a boundary is like something that if they violate it,
A
it's
real
what
boundary.
what you are going to do. Yeah, think like boundary line.
Mhm.
And they're mistaking it for requests, which people don't have to do what you want them to do. Like people are going to behave how they want, and that tells you enough, you know?
Right. And I'm like, you don't have to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple.
Yeah. So what do you think about that, or just boundaries in general, really?
And don't forget relationships. I know when people say relationships, everybody is thinking uh sexual relationship, like a
Yeah.
couple and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But key
Romantic.
thing
Yeah.
is relationship. Like we have relationships right here. So you got your friends relationship, your co-workers, like any association with another person is some form of relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like saying no, that's a big one that people don't respect their own boundaries, so they won't say no, even though
Yeah.
they actually want to say no.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
It's loaded right there.
Well, there's no right or wrong answer.
I mean, I think boundaries are important to set, but I think what y'all was saying as far as people using boundaries for toxic reasons, let's just say that, right? I think that's more of what we see. People don't seriously have boundaries; they're just trying to control. You know, sometimes boundaries they come out of nowhere. Like when somebody's upset, like, oh, now I
They're
have
not clear, right?
right.
Good.
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm kind of I'm a fall in line. I'm kind of falling with you right now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, I think I feel biased because me and my guy, we've been together a while, and we've like worked out all the kinks like early on. Like, well, because I was a toxic one. I was so toxic. I would say, text me when you get back from the gym. Only takes 2 minutes or 2 seconds, really. Like you should just do it. Like it's not that hard. Just do it. Like I just want to know you, because we were long distance. Like I just want to know you made it home safe. Sounds great and like justified, but at the same time, if he doesn't want to or if he forgets, that doesn't mean he doesn't care about me or that he doesn't respect me. Like he doesn't have to do anything. Now if I want to make it mean that he doesn't respect me, I am free to do that. And maybe it's true, maybe he doesn't respect me regardless, but it's like I want people to know where their power lies within the relationship and how they're putting a lot of blame on other people that's not theirs to take. Like we make ourselves very miserable and we emotionally suffer and put it on someone else when it's not theirs.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah. Like I'm upfront with people, especially when it comes to situations where I ask you to call or text and stuff like that, depending on the situation, like I can't be sitting around here and you're far away and I'm worrying because like that's a toll on my health and stuff like that, because I actually worry about people. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Especially if there's a long gap and I knew you were supposed to be calling me or texting me, whatever. And that's what I will relate to that person. Like I was worried and stuff like that. Now you can believe me or not. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be straight up about how I feel and what was going on with me, how it affected me.
Yeah. Sometimes like we can even do that too much too, in the sense that like there's been times where a message didn't go through, or let's say their phone died. And Quincy says I needed Coach K for every girlfriend I ever had to explain this to women I dealt with. I get it. That's why I'm working with people, because it's ever since I learned how to question what I was thinking. Like, okay, did this person we could look at statistics. Getting in a car accident, they actually do happen a lot. And I know someone who like it did happen to her significant other, and she just never heard from him, and so that like kind of petrifies me. But at the same time,
right,
I kind of have to ask myself, okay, we don't know what's going on. What do I want to think right now? Now, if it's been like 24 hours, yeah, I'm gonna be freaking out. But again, we get to decide whatever it is. But like your guy, I remember in high school wanting him to text me back every 2 minutes. Like what? And I would watch the clock. Like what in the hell?
That's a little psycho, love.
I told you, I'll be the first to tell you.
I think for every realistic boundary that's set, it's equally as important to have some type of compromise there. And with compromising, you know, you're taking a little, you get a little, I get a little, and we can meet in the middle, as opposed to, you know, just doing what the other person wants or just doing what you want. Because sometimes, you know, what someone is asking you to do, it feels too much out of your comfort zone. You're not comfortable with that. You can feel that way. You cannot do that. You know, people have 18,000 things on their plates. They got all the stuff we have to deal with. Right. You're mad because I'm not picking up my phone and letting you know every time my feet are moving. I don't have time for that. Yeah, like I don't have time for that. But when it's us time and we can sit down and wind down and talk about the day, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But while I got things to do, I got things to do. So it's not realistic of me to be on my phone trying to text you back every time my feet move. But the compromise is we could chop it up all you want when it's our time at the end of the day, when I'm done.
That's so good. Hey, Dre, what's going on?
What's going on, Coach? Hey, what's going on? I had to change my name because I couldn't come in on that last name.
I know that was that's the last second, but you know, I figured you were perfect for the role.
Definitely.
But I just saw in the chat, Quincy said he had a woman think he was cheating on her because he was in a coma from a fire. Like, oh my gosh. That's the stuff.
See,
you know what I mean?
I'd be dying. I would be dying because
here's the thing with boundaries.
Yeah, tell me what you think.
Here's the thing. You know, I deal with boundaries all day, every day.
Yeah, you do.
And what you have to understand what boundaries are. They're always going to be tested, and sometimes we waver. You know what I'm saying? It's no different from if a woman decides she doesn't want to be married anymore, be in a relationship, but yet still calls her ex to come over and fix stuff. Like, hold up. That man has to set a boundary. Like, look, you don't want me, which means you can't get anything that comes with me. When you decided that you didn't want this, you forfeited everything that comes with it. But a lot of times folks forfeit their boundaries or keep moving their boundaries just to satisfy, you know, hopes, wishes, and prayers that maybe things will get better. And it's no different from if you're in a good relationship and the person you start to think clingy. How come you didn't answer your phone? You have to set that boundary. It's like, look, I work from this time to this time. You can't call me. If you send me a text, it's going to take a minute for me to get to you. You have to be consistent with it. Which means that once you see that text, you can just say, hey, I'm in a meeting, can't talk, and leave it there. Right. Don't start striking up conversations in a meeting because you're bored, because now you just open up the door for it to be continued.
Your word means nothing. And it's like, wouldn't you rather see people, like we get mad when people don't do what we want them to do, but wouldn't you rather them show you who they are? And that's great. If you don't like to do this, that's fine. No problem. That's just not my thing. Like we're not a good match, whatever. But it's like, we don't let the people be who they want to be, and also let them decide. And if they want to, they will. But sometimes too, like, okay, we can be good with it. Like, this was something else I worked on, Quincy, was my guy. Sometimes he didn't want to go to like a family event. That's totally fine. Like, it's, the old Katie would have been like, you should want to go. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, we call it shoulding all over yourself. Like, should and should not is like the worst. But it's like, he doesn't want to, and that's fine. I'd rather him do what he wants to do, actually. And you know what? Sometimes he does go. So it's like fine, you know?
Because here's the thing. A lot of times folks are going to buck just because you told them what they should do. But a lot of times you have to think about like, look, it has to go beyond your own selfish needs. You know what I'm saying? If I was like, yo, Big Al, you got to come. But I don't want you to come and you be bored or you're not entertained and
miserable.
You just, like everything's on your face. You know what I'm
you
saying?
Don't want to be here.
Right. And I can't get mad because you're not enjoying yourself when you already told me that you didn't want to be there. So
like,
that's on
I'm
me.
shocked. Like, duh, they told you that.
I
like,
can't believe
right.
you up in
you
here
can't get mad at
like
that
this in front of these people.
Like,
right.
babe,
yeah, like of course I told you I didn't want to go. Or if I like go and I really didn't want to go, well, that's on me. Like, if not being a sourpuss, like that's your fault.
Or I'm
Katie.
sitting up there acting like I'm having a good time, draining myself. By the time we get in the car, I'm slamming the door. I ain't talking to you. Like, girl, didn't nobody tell you to do all of that? Didn't nobody tell you to do all of that?
Right. And then we all under the guise of boundaries. And it's just like literally do a TikTok search. And it's like
look,
that's not a boundary violation.
It's not.
The guilt trip thing is serious.
It's serious. Here's the thing, and I'm not. I mean, look, it's just me and CJ here, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. From what I see, women will inherently cross boundaries because they feel it doesn't apply to them. It applies to, like, if a woman tells a man, like, look, yo, don't wake me up after before 7 o'clock. That man ain't gonna fuck with you before 7 o'clock. But if you tell a man, don't do this, you're gonna do it. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry.
It's that relationship thing.
Right.
It's,
you have to,
girl, so I should be able to do it. What?
That's the entitlement. You know what I'm saying?
So disrespectful too. Like, if you're his girl, like, you should not.
You should be the one.
You should be the most respectful.
Right.
Sometimes like, these people don't like each other. Like the way that women will talk about like their guys, like
sex.
What'd you say?
It don't be none but it's basically
like
in-house coochie. Like that's basically
and
go ahead.
And then, you're good. And they blame that person. It's like, no, you are choosing to act like this, whether you believe it or not. You know, you're subconsciously choosing this. But it's like, why would you want to be like that? Why would you choose to act like that? Like it's optional always, and it's not. I just hear people talk about like their relationships and like what they think about like a man, whatever. This is all like YouTube, but I hear it in life too. But it's like, why would you say that about someone? You know, like you feel that when you are like invoking that emotion because you're pissed at that person. That person doesn't feel it, doesn't jump out of your body and go into theirs, you know?
They're scared to set the boundary. That's what it be a lot of the time. It's societal norms, it's pressure from family. It can be a multitude of things, but I'm over that shit. In my life, I
set boundaries, but the only time I deviate from the boundaries I set is if it benefits. You know what I'm saying? So if you like, hey, can you come over and fix this? Only if you go do this. You know what I'm saying? If you got a skill set that I could benefit from it, then hey, you go ahead and give me that. I'll knock that out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not doing it coming over. Like, you're not getting my non-sexual energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. I'm not your buddy. I'm not your, especially if I done bit all up in your guts and whatnot. We're not friends. We're not.
That's women do that shit. I swear.
Like I had this one girl tell me she was celibate, right? So
yeah, she was selling a little bit.
Okay, fine. You're celibate. Okay, cool. But you still want to wear little bitty shorts when I come to the crib. You still want to be up under me. It's like, no, I have to deny you that. And she was like, I'm wrong for that. And I'm like, no, sweetheart, I'm a man and a heterosexual man. I respect you got your prerogative of wanting to be celibate, but you don't also get to tell me how to operate as a man in that situation. You don't. And they don't understand that. I swear they don't understand this.
That is some BS. And like sometimes I just like I would love to be a fly on the wall, for example, or this is going on, and I want to be like, honey, like listen to me. Like I just want to like dissect this. Like, why are you doing this right now? Like, why are you actually celibate then? It's totally fine. What are your reasons? They must not be. I don't want to judge, but they must not be that strong. If you're like doing this to that guy, and that's not fair to him.
So what I'm telling you, what it is that whole platonic friendship, right? secretly she really wants, you know what I'm saying? She don't want to look like that she's fast.
Or plausible
deniability. Right. Oh, you took advantage of me. Nah, yo. Right. You called me over for one thing.
I told you I was celibate.
Right. Exactly.
Matter of fact, I gave an example. You know, met a young lady, she's a friend of mine, and she was like, we could be friends. I said, I don't do friends. I was like, and then I said, like, well, why not? I said, because friends don't know how to maintain boundaries. I said, because you can't pop up on my door at 3:00 in the morning. Friends don't do that. You can't call me after 1 o'clock. You can't do that. No, you can't spend the night over. You can't pop up at my house and want to spend the night. You can't do that. Well, why not? We're friends. What kind of friends are you trying to be? I said, because my friends call me during business hours. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't call me during legs up hours.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So and I'm very blunt. You know, right.
Facts.
And you tell me what you want. Stop playing the games. What is it? You know what I'm saying? Or why you gotta be like that? I said, because I'm too short for a long time of conversation. I'm too old to be playing games. Let's what's up? What's up?
That's what it is. What do you guys think are the guys? I want you to answer, but also we can answer too, whatever. But like, what are some boundaries that you have had a difficult time carrying or following through on with women or friends too, whatever, like guy friends or whoever?
What's the question again? I'm sorry, I missed that.
What are some boundaries that have been difficult to follow through on or follow through with? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't find a lot of boundaries. I was kidding.
Celibacy.
He is being a fool in the chat right now. I'm not even.
That's my boy, world class.
I know, he's crazy. He's so funny. Children play games. Yeah, that's a fact. He shot.
Well, one boundary I have is that you can't come to my house after 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like even my boys, you can't. There's no chilling in my house after 10 o'clock.
Ooh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because look, I ain't trying to have a whole bunch of dudes in my crib. We could come when the sun's out. We sit out on the deck, smoke a cigar, chill, drink. But 10 o'clock, y'all got to go. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting comfortable. This ain't the hangout spot. I respect my joint. And with women, like, look, if I say, hey, yeah, you could come over like at 6 o'clock, don't hit me up talking about, nah, I think I won't be able to get there by 10:30. Well, what are your intentions? I'm very specific. I had a friend that's like, hey, can you cook for me? I'm like, sure, what you want? I said, all right. I said, well, I get home, everything be ready by 8. Well, I won't get over there to about 9:30, 9:45. I said, are you still trying to eat? I said, you really want to eat that late?
What you want to eat?
Right. She wanted kielbasa, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't on the menu. But the thing is like, respect my house, respect me. Why, why waste food if you have no intentions on eating food? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, this ain't no soup kitchen.
Real quick, Ron says Deprive ? LOL. 4 days in the Philippines can fix that. I don't know what you mean.
I don't know what you mean. I'll be in Costa Rica in 2 weeks, so.
Ooh. Yeah.
So, okay, wait, but did you tell? So, let's say you meet a girl. I don't know how this occurs, and hey, well, but how do you approach this boundary? Like, do you just tell him like straight up, hey?
Yep.
Okay, see, he's doing.
That's kind of how you
got it. Though. You got to do it. You can't play around with it. And be like, look,
that's not
you
fair
gotta
to
ask.
them.
You gotta ask because there is no, I don't know. I'm like, look, you set boundaries for your crib. I set boundaries for mine, and I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, unless you flying into my, my town, and you already spoke and asked, hey, you live close to where I go. Do you mind if I stay? I know you have an extra room. Yes, that's different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
they didn't do it. Yeah.
Correct. You're not just popping up, ringing my doorbell unannounced. Because first of all, you're gonna sit out there. I don't care what the weather is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't do pop-ups.
Inviting yourself.
That's
Facts.
how it should be.
Yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even when I was, before I got married, I didn't do that. And even when the relationship ended, I wasn't doing that. So you have to be steadfast, because at the end of the day, men know that, hey, she ain't nobody to mess with. You got to let this chick know, even her friends, well, why don't you go see him? Nope. Look, if I don't expect this to happen, I'm not messing with him. I'm not calling him after this time just to shoot the shit. Because first of all, I'm chilling. Because I'm not sitting down there on the phone listening to you talk about what you want to do. And we're not doing that,
bro.
Right.
You know what I will say, when it comes to dealing with women, when you ain't got nothing else going, like you ain't getting shot, or you're not in the hospital, or you're not at work, when you just say, I'm chilling, I really don't want to talk right now, bro, that's a boundary that they become habitual line steppers, like for real.
What, like calling you up or showing up or what?
Yeah, no, ain't nobody pulling up the shit, but they'll definitely call. They'll definitely call, or when you actually talk to them later, they carry the attitude from you telling them that you was just chilling at work, because in their mind it's cheating.
And it's rejection. It's primarily like boundary is like a rejection. You telling me something I can't do.
Right.
But
I can't do what I want to do
all day,
That's
the entitlement.
That's the double standard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing too, is I think, I'm gonna be honest, women, I mean, I've done it before, we expect them to follow a boundary, but we don't even tell them what it is. So
we're supposed to read your mind.
No,
I told the
last
chick I was dealing with, I told her, she asked me, she was basically saying, we smash or whatever, and I go do my thing and she don't call. I said, you don't set a hard line, bro. Like, what you want me to set the boundary for you? Like, if you want more out of me, and I'm not promising you more out of me, then you got to draw the line and say, okay, I need you to do more, or I'm just gonna walk away. But people don't do that. I'm telling you, a lot of people don't.
But see, what it is, and I mean, in all honesty, when you sit down and tell somebody what they can and can't do, is what the issue is. And it's like
wrong.
If I sit down there and we have a great conversation, you really want to infuse yourself into my life. You want to know how I move. Is it if I'm just a representative, and you want to see how I live. So you're going to maneuver in a certain way. And a lot of times women put men in a box. Well, the last dude I messed with, he said this, but he ain't really mean it. So you don't mean it either. Opposed to treating me like an individual. You're putting me in a box. And I'm just, and when I'm like, look, I'm sorry. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care what you got going on. I had kids, so I ain't a virgin. So I ain't thirst. I'll kick your ass out in a second. I ain't worried about that shit. So they're so used to the men being so, desperate because we're sexual opportunists. We only get it when you say, come get it. So when you finally say, if I've been thirsting, I'm like, yo, I've been talking to this chick for a minute. And she trying to bust wide open. Yo, right. But they don't think that we'll kick their ass out just for some dumb shit. It ain't that true. It's not that serious. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Some women think they're sitting on a gold mine. You know what I'm saying? Don't understand. We got pickaxes between our legs. So don't think just because you're sitting on a gold mine, we can't excavate that shit.
It's cold. I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that.
Because all it is a rock on the wall till we put that hammer to it.
So it's
wait, I'm like, wait, so are we kicking him out or we let him go?
Never met a woman that thinks she's
I've never
met that thinks she's not a good woman. I've never met one. She got the best one. It's never happened. Never seen that in my life.
You said you never met a woman that what?
That thinks she's ugly, that thinks she's a bad woman, that thinks her box ain't fine. I've never met one woman that thought that. Like, never.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I can only speak for myself, and I've definitely been guilty of that. Just thinking of my younger self, I'm like, damn, you needed some
boys
humble pie, bitch.
Boys get humble because we get rejected. I don't care what kind of guy you are. If you holler at 100 girls, at very minimum 50 gonna reject you. Like, that's just like you get used to it.
But in that 50, you got about 30 midnight monsters in there.
Thanks.
I cannot, right?
Leave out at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Monsters.
Hey, so Roden, what you got on this topic? We're talking about boundaries, and then I want to hear Big Al because I haven't heard her in a while, so I want to hear her talk. But Roden, what you got?
Boundaries. I was trying to listen if I chimed in.
Is it my hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
No, I just did a little more. I just came in at the last second.
Okay.
No worries. I'll chime in when I get understanding.
Good. No worries. Big Al, what do you think of what Dre and CJ have been talking about?
He's pretty much right. When you talk to a lot of women, they have this delusional mindset. Everybody's a 10 or 12. When guys take the filters off of Instagram, in reality, there's some aggressive mud ducks out there.
You have some vocabulary too. I know.
What
So you
is
and
your
Dre.
name for?
I know. They both are.
Coach K, you got to remember, I'm from New York, so we used to calling chicks scallywags, sea hags, all that. So, birds. So, but the thing is,
I don't know about no
right.
duck. What you call it?
Mud ducks. That's old school.
It's regional. I mean, out here you say mud ducks, facially challenged, visually impaired.
Butterface. They face got the
butter. Genetically impacted, things like that. Yeah.
Wait, genetically what?
Impacted.
Impacted.
Hey,
That's
you know what?
Good one.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And here's the thing. I'm just gonna be in all honesty. I was sitting down. There's a cigar lounge down the street from my crib, and just happened to strike up a conversation with this young lady, like 26-year-old young lady, and she was like, "Damn, how come every time somebody walk by you, why they touching on you? Who are you?" I said, "I'm me." I said, "So she's like, oh, you out here living your best life?" I said, "No, I'm out here living life. That's what I do. The best part of my life is me living, existing, and understanding who I am." You're used to, you see these dudes in here 6'7", 6'8", walking around and everybody staring at them, but they coming to me. I'm the exception, not the rule. The problem is when character is no longer a factor in what you're looking for, this is the superficial shit that you go for. You know what I'm saying? And then you feel because I'm one of these under 6 foot brothers, I shouldn't have any boundaries or any expectations. And when I shut your ass down up front, and you know what I'm saying? Or I sit down there and, sing that sweet shit in your ear and walk off without asking for your number, your IG, or whatever it is, you're fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So now you coming back to see what day I come back, but you ain't trying to play yourself. When you set boundaries, it puts you in control, but you have to stand. You can't move the goalposts. You have to stay steadfast and be confident. I don't care how attractive a man is to a woman. If it's worth it, if she is attracted to you, good. She will come to you. You don't have to chase. You ain't got to spit game. You ain't got to do nothing.
Yeah.
Be who you are, but be steadfast in the boundaries. Because he's like, girl, he don't play. He about that shit. Why don't you go do this? Nope, I ain't fucking that up. But that's what you have to do. You have to set that boundary. You have to let them know, like, yo, I ain't. And that's the thing. Unfortunately, women want the dudes that everybody want, and they have to jump through hoops to even, get on your radar.
Or it's like, because you don't seem to. I didn't understand women, and I still fully don't. So let me not lie to you.
Neither do I. I got 2 daughters and 3 sisters. So
yeah, and I still don't get it. So
I'm taking courses. So go ahead.
Right, it's a you never graduate, right? Unless you TMR. But anyway,
right.
The way I look at it is like when I was chasing after the box. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, I ain't gonna say harder. That's the wrong word, but it was more of an obstacle, right? But
more
when
challenging.
more challenging, right? Yeah. But when I was chilling and they were kind of coming to me, the first time I ever denied a girl sex, like, and this is, I can't even be mad at them because she got so mad because she's so used to dudes doing whatever it takes to get the box, and I was just like, I'm cool. You feel me?
I think guys should do that more. That's just my opinion.
We got more hours than you think.
But I'm petty.
It does work.
I'm petty. Like I got like I set up a date and I got stood up, right? And went to the same spot that I met her, that I met the chick at, right? And she was there with her girls. Walked in, and I was sitting there. I got like 2 other chicks around me. I'm kicking it. We just kicking it. I got them laughing. They spitting out their drinks and shit. She comes over, touch me on the shoulder. I look at her, look up. I say, so, you know what I'm saying? She said, oh, it's like that? I was like, do I know you? I said, have we met? I said, because you're real personal. I said, what's going on? Oh, how come you ain't call me? Call you? I said, excuse me, ladies. See, you got with me, I don't know who you used to doing it, but you got one time to fuck up. I said, what you don't understand is I have value. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes.
You know, I got at least, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't thirst. You lost out. These ladies here understand what's there, and they're competing for what they believe. They understand that the numbers are not in their favor.
Right.
And they just giving them like, you know, and I'm like, the numbers are not in their favor. They're not expecting me to choose one of them. They're just happy to the fact that I'm giving them attention. They're feeding the attention. Whether I leave their number or not doesn't faze me or not. But you had an opportunity that these women don't have. You had an opportunity to come to my house and actually chill with me. And this is something that you set up.
Yeah.
You didn't follow through on your own shit, which means that you're unreliable. So why will I waste my time with you? Have a good evening. Your girls over there watching. Go over to your girls. Have fun. We're going to go back out there laughing. And I just turn my back.
Right.
And that walk of shame. And they start laughing at her. I didn't explain the situation to them because it's really none of their business.
Because that was dumb. Like,
oh, they got it. They understood.
You know, and the fact that I wasn't ashamed or sad to say that you thought you left me hanging, now understanding that anything, and I'll put it out there, anything I do, I'm doing regardless, whether you're with me or you're not. The job is for you to be a part of it, to benefit from it. Out of my heart, you know, my feelings aren't hurt if I set up a date and you don't show up. That's just my money I've saved for myself.
Yeah.
That is so true, because a business coach has used that as an example for, like, if someone doesn't show up for a consultation, then you plan that time to do something else. But same thing with dates. And she used that example. You plan that something else, so then you're not disappointed. It's cool. You have a date with yourself.
I'm still going out.
But here's the problem.
I'm buying the bottle instead of the glass.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. But a lot of folks, when I do my consulting, what I've learned with a lot of my clients, they are afraid to go to a restaurant by themselves, go to a bar by themselves,
oh no,
go to a bar by themselves. They're afraid to do that. And that's like, well, how do you expect anybody to want to be with you if you don't even want to be with yourself?
Wow. Yes.
You got to
Same thing with the boundaries. They say no to themselves and say yes to other people because they don't want people to feel whatever, even though people don't usually care. You know, they're afraid to be uncomfortable when really it's never uncomfortable. You just say no and call it a day.
I have a blast when I'm by myself. I went to Miami by myself, which it was not a planned trip by myself.
Yeah.
I have been planning a solo vacation, but definitely not to Miami. Like, but
I know they say.
But I'm going to Costa Rica by myself. It was a birthday trip to myself.
Yeah, that sounds lit. Miami, as a young female by myself, that I was a little nervous. They be sex trafficking folks out there, but I was real close to the beach, and I literally stayed on the strip most of the time, and I took like Ubers everywhere that I couldn't walk, but I was able. Being a chef, I have a very wide palate, and a lot of the time when I go on these girls trips, or even if it's just a family vacation, people want to eat the same stuff we can eat at home. I know. I have me some pho. I'm up here with the griot. I'm up getting everything I want. I'm on the beach for about 6 hours a day. I always want to lay out on the sand, and people be like, "Okay, it's hot. Let's go." Like, it's hot. Like, we're in Miami. What are you talking about? So I got to do everything I wanted to do. I had a blast. I cannot wait for my next solo vacation. And
I think I can answer the question now, because the thing about it, when it comes to the topic, deprive or compromise, it starts with you. Like, if you don't enjoy you, then why would anybody else enjoy you? Like, that's how as Dre was saying, you accrue value But yeah, you gotta see that value within yourself. You're gonna treat yourself a certain way. You're gonna move a certain kind of way.
And that's so simple. Like if you don't understand that logic, if you don't get that, you gotta just sit down. You gotta take a step back. You're moving too fast.
People think but a lot of times folks can do that. Like I do when I'm at work, I do every Tuesday is bow tie Tuesday. Right. So I wear a bow tie every Tuesday. Right. Period.
Right.
And folks are like, what's going on? Oh, it must be Tuesday. But that's me. You set precedents. You understand what I'm saying? And folks start to recognize your consistency and who you are, and the fact that you take pride in your appearance. Right. Yeah. So when you leave the house, the same morals and values you have when you're on the left, you need to have when you're on the right. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, when folks can tell that you are not afraid to be by yourself, because it's a lot easy to say, well, I'm an independent, this and that and the other. All you're saying is you're an adult. But when you're saying, I'm the most important person I know, and I have to get me straight before I can get you straight, that's when the dynamics change, because I can't cater to you and then neglect myself. That's not going to work.
And you know what?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I know a lot of guys do that, and the girl didn't ask them to do that. Like a lot of guys get caught up in trying to be whatever she needs so I can get whatever I want, and it's like, bro, you don't have to do all that. Like,
no, and women do the same, and people don't understand. Like literally, that's a form of manipulation, and people see that, and they don't think that the other person sees that.
Right.
And I'm not flattered, and I'm not intrigued. I feel disrespected because you're trying to play me. Like,
and better chances are being yourself, or not being needy and desperate. You're going to attract more people because you're being awkward when you're not being yourself. And then it's like we're afraid to be ourselves because of what people will say, whatever. So then we act like someone else, and it's like they don't even know you, so how can they judge you when you're not acting like you? And it's crazy.
First, you give off a weird energy. If I catch a weird energy, I'm out.
See, beautiful. I'm gonna tell you like this: what is the one thing that they say women don't like? Nice guys, right? Yeah. There's a difference between being a kind man and a nice guy. When you're a nice guy, you are so transparent that you're only doing this because you want something in return. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You was late. You was 4 hours late to this date, but I'm gonna still stay and wait for you because I want to smash, bro. She was late, which means she don't respect your time.
We did a podcast. Yeah, we called it was the nice guys finish last, good guys finish first. And it's a difference between being a good. It's like you get how it goes.
I'm kind. See, I'm kind. I do things out of the kindness of my heart. You know what I'm saying? I do it because I want to, and I don't expect shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. When you're young, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you really ain't had no box yet, right? A lot of the time you try to nice yourself into it. Yeah. So when you finally get to the point where you get some box, right? What you start to do is like, oh, I was an asshole, so that's how I got it. That's what you think. It seems that way because you stopped being so nice. You got the one part right. You didn't have to be an asshole to get the box. What you had to do was be yourself. She knows you're only doing something to get to her versus you being yourself and you just got your objective. It could be the same thing with a different way of doing it.
Yeah. And then Ronan, you go ahead and we're going to do final thoughts because we're going to be wrapping up in 5 minutes. But so Ronan, you go ahead and you can just start the final thoughts section.
Okay. Well, I just said like with this conversation, there is definitely a difference between being nice and being a solid dude or a solid woman. You being nice, you're basically being a self-deprecating asshole who wants to embarrass himself to the point where they manipulate the situation to get what they want. That's the real-time version of Pyrrhic victories. You sacrifice everything to get a little piece of something and lose everything about yourself. And we have to be honest with ourselves. A lot of times we're trained and groomed to be amateur but horrible method actors when we should be honest with ourselves and how we move. If they don't like it, cool. That saves you a lot of time and energy. But if they actually appreciate it and you make it comfortable to be themselves, you actually have a healthy relationship rather than a relationship.
100%. That's good stuff. Well, thank you for being here. Do you want to shout yourself out? You want to shout yourself out, Ronan? Where people can find you? I know you're on cruise season.
Oh yeah, well you'll catch me every other Wednesday of the cruise season, and I have my channel on YouTube. It's the Book of Ronin, speaking thing about mental health, telling guys to be veterans across the board, both in the service and outside of it, to
thank you. Thank you for your service.
stop being in that weenie, the importance of agency, mental and physical health, and other various things. And I'm not a reaction channel, I'm proactive.
Ooh, you speaking my language. Okay. Thank you for being here.
Memorex.
All right, Dre, what you got?
I'll tell you, it's like just understanding boundaries. You have to understand yourself, and you have to be true. Just know who you are, know your worth, and what you will and will not accept, and be steadfast on that. Whether you're a woman, 25, you don't want to have any children till you get married, then date with a purpose and be steadfast. No, hey, I like you, you're attractive, but we're on two different paths. You want this, I want this. It's good to know you, and I know we can't be friends because we both shot our shot and we found out that we're going two different paths. But I do appreciate it, and I would love to talk to you again. So when it comes down to it, you just have to love yourself more than loving the situation, because that situation is a moment. You know what I'm saying? But we're treating it like it's a lifetime, and then we're always setting ourselves for disappointment when it fizzles out before it even gets started. Understand, and really the character of a person is the spirituality of a person, because before you even lay down with them and they send chills in your heart and your ears are tingling because you want to hear what they have to say, that's half the battle. Let's just get there first before we start taking our clothes off, because once we get to that point and we do take our clothes off, or you can remember it's that last conversation that turns you on. So the physical aspect is spiritual, opposed to just being, cheeks being clapped. You know what I mean? So let's start remembering who we are as a person and our value before we start giving people discounts. You know what I'm saying?
You make sure those align. That's good stuff. And where can people find you?
You can find me. I'm usually on the Real Nathan Daily's channel.
Yeah.
His moderator. We was in the police academy together, so that's my dog. Sometimes you'll find me on Uncle Stu. You'll find me on Black Man Unfiltered as well. I don't have my own channel because the nature of my business, my real job, I don't. But I do consulting. I do men's etiquette. I teach folks how to build networks and get their business started and how to be resourceful in their business.
Oh, you drop your email in the back chat.
Yeah, I will.
Right. For all of us. Oh, that's good. Thank you for being here, by the way, too. You dropped some gems. Literally. Like, I'm not even kidding. I was going to say that anyway. I forgot I was in your name. All right. Good stuff. Well, thanks again, Dre.
All right.
I'm going to save that. All right. Beautifully animated. Thank you always for being here. You were one of the best. All right. What you got?
I got you. It does start off with knowing yourself. So you gotta self-assess yourself and be honest about yourself with yourself. I mean, honest with yourself about yourself. And once you know yourself, then you know what your boundaries are. And I think real boundaries are set from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know yourself. You know what you will and will not deal with. And so you say it up front. We don't stop learning until we die. You know what I'm saying? So you may learn some other boundaries later on down the line. But you should still know your main boundaries in the beginning of a relationship and set them up and stuff like that. Therefore, there's no room for confusion. There's no room for bull. You know what I'm saying? And you can find me at Beautifully Animated on YouTube, Beautifully Animated Speaks on YouTube, and Beautifully Animated without the space on Instagram.
Yep, you'll see her here on Black Man Unfiltered all the time. Thank you again for being here. Seriously, so fun.
Thank you.
All right, CJ, your turn.
I ain't got much to say, man. Good conversation. I would tell ladies just from a man's point of view, and I'll say something to the fellas too. But men want the box. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure y'all know that, but you need to put that into your head, right? And they're not going to police it for you, right? If it's up there to be grabbed, most guys are going to grab it. So it's up to you to set the boundary. It's on you to set the line where he can't cross. And when you honestly do that, you'll weed out whatever you're not trying to have. You know what I'm saying? For men, I would say set your boundaries with women and be unapologetic about it. Be okay with losing the battle. Like if the battle is to get the box, be okay with risking losing, not getting it, for being honest. That's when it's worth it. That's when you can say, I actually did this and I got to still be myself. Because giving up yourself as a man, you do give yourself up too. Giving up yourself as a man without being who you are, you lose a piece of yourself every time. So I would tell brothers to stand on business at all times, you feel me? And that's all I got.
That's good. And shout out your channel. I mean, everyone should know you, but for those that don't,
go check out the 5100 podcast, man. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, that's cool.
I always rep it. You feel me? Always.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Of course.
But I rock with Black Man Unfiltered, Coach K, Big Al. Shout out to y'all for having such good conversations and doing it at a low tone. I don't hear no lot of yelling.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all ladies, man.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Seriously.
Thank you.
You brought a lot of value. Thank you again.
All right.
All right. We'll catch you next time. See, that was such a good, it's just a vibe over here. I feel like Big Al.
Yeah.
You and we just clicked. That's for sure. So what do you think about the conversation? Final thoughts. We'll close it out.
Yeah. So basically piggybacking off what everybody else said, know your place in the relationship. Whatever dynamic that relationship is, know your place. And if you're unsure about it, ask questions. If you're telling yourself, it's not that big of a deal, let it go, move on.
Mm-hmm.
But that thing is still constantly bothering you and hanging over your head, it probably is a big deal and you need to address it. At the root of every good relationship is effective communication, not just talking, because people can talk and not say anything. Effectively communicate, whatever it is that you require, make sure that the relationship that you're in is fulfilling that without you needing to manipulate it. If everything has to be manipulated, it's not genuine. A house with a bad foundation, no matter how much you build up and cover up that rocky foundation and update all the appliances and modernize everything, eventually it's still gonna come crumbling down because the foundation sucks. So that's how I feel about it.
That's so good. You can't say any better than that. And where can people find you?
I am on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook under the handle Big Al's Kitchen 313.
Oh,
that's where you can find me. And then, of course, I'm here every Thursday with Coach K.
Yeah.
For the Get Your Mind Right podcast.
Yes, I love it. And your reels, I know, are they TikToks then shared like reels or whatever on Instagram, or like separate, whatever?
So yeah, like with the monetized thing, like you can't have like the same video on different outlets because they'll flag it as like non-original. So it's a little bit different. Like
they're good, whatever. Like you're killing it, seriously. Like
Thank you.
And everything looks so freaking good too. I'm like intimidated
as
hell.
We really do. Like we gotta maybe next summer we gotta rent out a fat ass Airbnb somewhere, like a cabin, and have a big ass potluck.
Oh my God!
I'm not cooking everything, so
I know you're probably you probably don't want to cook shit, but yeah. Oh, that'd be.
I will cook one dish.
I know that's it.
Maybe
yeah,
two.
Say no to everything else. Black man, put it together. No, I was kidding. That's good. That's good. Well, anyway, yeah. Y'all already heard me talk enough, but this was such a good conversation. Boundaries, don't manipulate people with them. Be honest with yourself, know your boundaries, and just be honest. Just speak up, whatever you're thinking, but also take care of your own mind and your own emotions before you blame other people, and let let adults be adults and do what they do. And that also includes, don't apologize for things that you're not responsible for. So that's all I'll say. Thank you everyone again for tuning into Black Man Unfiltered Network, and check out all the other shows. I know they have a very important show tomorrow night at Barbershop Talk. So check that out. Turn on the notification bell. Leave a like on your way out. Comment. All the rest, all the things. But thank you genuinely for being here, everyone in the chat. You guys are all awesome. And thank you, Big Al. We're out of here. See ya. Bye.